Hello everyone. Do you know what happens when you drop a stone on a water body? Do you know what happens when you throw a stone with force in a water body? It forms ripples. Now it depends on the stone, the size of the stone, and the force that which you throw the stone with. That how many ripples it will create. That's called the ripple effect. I fumbled upon this phenomena of ripple effect long back, fortunately at early age in my life. And this thought, this phenomena, changed the way I started looking at life. That's why I called it the ripple effect, which connects life to purpose and meaning of life. There was a famous scientist, Buckminster Fuller, from America. On his life, a gentleman wrote an article, I bumped onto it on internet, who explained the ripple effect and the precision that it follows. That every time I throw a bigger stone, it will create bigger ripples. So it depends on me that what size and with what force I'm throwing the stone. A lot of us dabble with the phenomena called purpose of life, meaning of life. What is a purposeful life? What is meaning of life, right? Similarly, I did the same. But this whole theory of precision, the effect of one body in motion onto other bodies of motion. When one person starts moving, you feel like moving, isn't it? When we are stagnant, we feel the world is stagnant. When we move, we feel the world is moving. It is all about movement. And this phenomena is linked to purpose of life and meaning of life. Ripples. How does it start? How does it connect to purpose of life? For me, it stands on 4 pillars. When you are on a journey to find the meaning of life and purpose of life, these are the 4 things I strongly feel you should focus on. Self-exploration. Go deep within, exploring yourself. When you explore yourself, you find different nuances. Oh, I like this. I'm good at this. I enjoy doing this. Once you know there are few things that you enjoy doing it, like doing it, you enhance it. It's a very simple formula. Deepest and the most difficult things in life are the most simplistic. When you explore certain things and enhance, you want to express it through certain mediums. When you express, you expand. Every single time, whether you have a skill or talent, if you explore, enhance, express, you are going to expand. When you expand, if you attach one meaning, one purpose to it, what's going to happen? You're going to change lives. You are going to create ripples. When I bumped into this phenomena, this article, it blew me away. Let me take you back a little in the history of my life. I'm Vibhuti Duggar. I'm born and brought up in a very small, at least at that time it was a small town, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. In a conservative family, my deadline to come home was 6 p.m. in the evening. And while I was growing up, there was an incident that happened in the 5th grade. It's not very dramatic, but for me it was dramatic at that point of time. In my 5th grade, I had a viral fever infection. For 3 days, I couldn't go to school. After 3 days, I went to school. And with my diary note, absent note. I went to the teacher. She signed the note. And I was standing still there and she said, "What are you standing here for? Go back to your seat." And I got a little startled and I took my diary and came back. Why was I standing there? To hear from her, "Vibhuti, are you okay? Are you feeling better?" We heard on empathy, isn't it? Just few talks before. When I came back and sat on my seat, there was this girl sitting next to me. Half of the day I was waiting. Maybe she's going to ask me, "What happened? Where were you for 3 days?" After lunch break, I waited for the whole class. Maybe somebody from the class will come and ask me that, "Vibhuti, where were you? What happened to you for 3 days?" Nobody came. That day, while going back from school to home in the bus, I thought, am I invisible? I mean, can nobody notice me? That was the first moment of insignificance in my life, and we have all experienced insignificance, isn't it? And it hurts. But in that moment, I kind of gave in to insignificance. Maybe I'm this average person. Life moved forward. As I was growing up, I was told that after graduation, you're going to get married, have kids, that's going to be your family. Life. I succumbed to that fate and I was okay with it. Anyways, I did not had like great talents or something, great in me. So I said, okay, fine. But what happened is after graduation, 5 guys back to back came to see me, to select me as a bride. I've done all. Chain salwar kameez to sari, went with tray. I've sang songs in front of people that please buy me as a bride. And nothing against my parents. As Louis Hay says, we are victims of victims, isn't it? They did the best of what they knew. That might not be the best for me. After so many rejections, my parents were, "She looks fine, everything is fine, why is nobody selecting her?" They put me in an MBA program in a local college. Bridal resume gets better, isn't it? I had no intention of doing any MBA as a very average student. During the MBA program, in the first week, we were asked to present a book review. I was a timid, shy girl who could not speak in front of anybody. When I went in front of my 60 students in the class, I was shivering like this. I could not complete 2 sentences. I was wearing a salwar kameez. My legs were shivering under the pajamas. I came back home. I think that was the turning point of my life, because that's the time I asked some existential questions to myself. I said, "Who are you, Vibhuti? Are you going to die like this, a meek, shy, timid girl who has nothing? Or is there anything inside of you worth exploring, worth enhancing, worth expressing, worth expanding?" And I wrote in my diary, last day of this college, I'll be the best speaker of the class. And I threw my diary like a theatrical drama. And from there on, everything changed. I know, just by saying doesn't happen, but it happened for me. This was 2003, when I did a proposal picture for people to select me, and that's 2010. And mind you, I'm not talking about the physical transformation. My whole identity changed because I started a journey of self-exploration. I made a list. Human beings are driven by 2 things, pain or pleasure. When you are in too much pain, you shift something in your life. When you want something badly, you shift something in life. I was in pain. That pain literally drove me to change something in me. And I started reading books, aspired. I went into my college and one day I stood in front of everybody and said, one day I'm going to speak in front of 10,000 people on the topic purpose of life, like a child who wants to just announce something. I did not know what, how, what. Any youngsters who are listening to me, how doesn't matter. Exploration matters. Be persistent to what you're doing. Be consistent in the self-exploration. You never know where you'll land up. In 2008, I moved to Dubai. Life took a different turn. 5 years, I worked for a company where we were organizing event for all international speakers and gurus. I was sitting, talking, breathing, eating with the authors and speakers I've read books of. The international gurus. And I said, I am on the right path. And it only happened when I stuck to exploring myself, enhancing myself. Because I added certifications of NLP certification, mind map trainer, and whatever came my way. I have so many stories to tell. And why I'm telling this story, there is a reason. I want to go to every two-tier city in India and tell every girl, do not kill your dreams. You never know. Not 10,000, there are millions of people who can be part of your story. And that's my kick in the life. That you explore, expand. When you explore and enhance your skills, it can be anything. I found these things. I started doing poetry. I started dancing. I loved dancing. Public speaking was my love. Art became my love. Now something happened while I explored that place. And mind you, when you are doing an exploration journey, you have to stick to consistency and persistence. There are no instant gratification. There's no free lunches. You will not get results immediately. The problem today is that we are really relying on instant gratification. 2 months, no results, let's go, no, I'm not meant for this. Or maybe it was not for me. Just 2 months, really? It's been 15 years I've been in this journey. And I'm not looking back. Then, I'm showing you a page from my diary in 2007. I had this wish list of writing a book. My book is going to get published soon. Speak in front of 10,000 people. Write 100 poems. Learn classical singing. 500 training session, I think I've surpassed that already. Open an old age home. Have a library of 1,000 books. I have 1,500 books with me. And I'm a voracious reader right now. I conduct book workshops. When I did not have any audience to dance in front of, in Dubai, when I lived in Dubai for 10 years, I went to a Barsha Park in Dubai and started dancing, putting my earphones. There was no audience. Every day, there were people who would gather. Some would laugh. Some would say, I don't know what she's doing. But I had a ball of time. I started doing wall painting. I've painted walls in Himachal, in Gandhinagar, in my town, Raipur, commissioned work in Dubai. It just went on and on and on. I started doing poetry. There's a poetry channel. One poem went viral for some time. 4 lakh views in 3 days. That shook me. I said, oh my God, there is something. So exploring, enhancing, expressing, and expanding, and you start touching lives. I started organizing retreats, changing people's life, helping people find their purpose. Because you know what, in 2007, when I was dabbling around the idea of finding purpose of life, I said, what could be a broader statement for my purpose statement? I said, I want to stick to these 4 pillars, and every single day of my life, I want to live in a way anybody in that day looks at me should have this feeling, I want to live like this. I don't want to sit on the couch. I want to do something with my life. This is my purpose statement. Not a single day, whether it's poetry, public speaking, art, dance, anything. Not a single day should go and waste. I'll end with 2 stories. In 2007, quite long back, I was given a task to conduct a workshop on purpose of life. in a cement plant for wage workers. There were 50 wage workers. On purpose of life. And I told the organizers, I said, what are they going to do about purpose of life? They're daily wage workers. All they focus on is bread and butter. It won't make sense. They said, we've already announced it. I said, okay, I'll do it. I conducted the session. It was for 1.5 hours. I was about to pack up. One gentleman stood up and said, ma'am, I want to say something. He said that 15 years back, I did few things. I started a journey. I was a little confused, but after this session, there's something brewing up in my mind. You tell me it's right or wrong. He said 15 years back in my village, and this story is for people who say, what if I don't have a skill or talent, how I'm going to find my purpose or meaning in life? This is for them. Because it's not about just skill. It's not just about a talent. It's about an act that you do that will make a difference. This guy, 15 years back, there was a blood donation camp that happened in the village nearby somewhere. He said, my friend forcefully took me there. We donated 1 bottle of blood. After we donated the blood, it was a very normal act. We were just waiting for a bus to take us back to our village. And there was this tree where there was this guy who was standing on with the coat, white coat, and explaining that this bottle that you've gotten, you've given, donated, it's going to go to a blood bank and henceforth, the whole process. But he said something. He said that you might have not saved just one life, you might have saved the whole family, because the man you saved might be the bread earner of the family. And that really stumped us. In that part, after coming back, they said that we got numb. He said, it's been 15 years. We are a group of 40 people. Either we are wage workers or odd jobs. People who are doing odd jobs. We've been donating blood 3 to 4 times a year. Do the math, how many blood bottles they have donated. And he said, a couple of months back, my doctor told me, with your age and the amount of blood you've donated, I don't think so you'll be allowed to donate any more blood. He said, today I've got an idea. Before I die, I'm going to make this 400. I have so many stories. I'll go on out in villages and I'm going to tell everybody, what can it do if you donate blood? That's my purpose of life. And this stone got bigger that particular day. And I'm so proud that I'm part of this story. I did not have a smartphone to click a picture. But that story gave me a validation in 2007. Vibhuti, you're on right track. And this particular gentleman, which is there on screen, I'll leave you with this story. Because I don't want to talk about my public speaking journey, my coaching journey. I want to leave you with this story. We organized a retreat in Jaisalmer. I was crossing the Jaisalmer fort. And this guy crosses my path and says that, I want to polish your boots. I was wearing leather boots. And I said, you know what, your Jaisalmer city, the moment I cross, it's so full of sand, my shoes are anyways going to get, I don't want to do it. He did not respond. I got curious. I said, what happened? To my surprise, I found out he's deaf and dumb. His name is Rakesh. And I went on the side. And you know what, I didn't know that my participants, the retreat participants are around me. I was interacting with this guy. I asked him why, the way I could interact, that from how long you've been deaf and dumb. He said, 6 and 7 years. And I've been polishing boots. I said, who is there in your home? He said, I have wife, I have 3 kids. And I said, how do you earn? He said, polishing shoes. I said, great. I don't know what connection I had. I just, out of nowhere, touched his cheek to bless him. And he started crying. I hugged him. And I said, give me your number. How stupid of me, isn't it? to ask a deaf and dumb guy to give his contact number. He can't speak. And he said, I don't have a number. He said, you give me your contact number. I gave him my contact number. I went back to my workshop later on. While leaving, I asked him, if I have to meet you again, how it's going to be possible? You know what he did? That's human connection. He said, he kept his hand on my head. He said, next time ever in your life you come to Jaisalmer Fort on this street, I promise you, I'll meet you here. I went back and I get a call in the evening. He said, did you meet some deaf and dumb guy today? I said, yeah. And the guy said that, please speak to this female, she wants to speak to you. It was Rakesh's wife, Hina. Hina said, ma'am, I don't know, I'm translating in English. I don't know who you are, but I've never seen my husband this happy. And he said, somebody on that street, there are millions of people that cross every day, but somebody saw me, the real me, and heard my story. And she said, you did something to him today. And can I request you that after some time, after going back to your town, can you do a video call? Every month we have video calls. I have a missed call from Hina today for a video call. And the ripples has nothing to do with just talent or skill. Anybody that comes and tells me that it's only about skill and talent, no. It's about humanity. But I will end with only one note. Explore yourself, go deep within, don't stop quickly. Enhance your skills or talents. Express yourself, add a meaning to it, and your life is going to expand and add a lot of ripples. Thank you so much.